In this section we'll look at creating new pages and entering text. So the sort of thing we'll see how to do is actually creating a new page, how to enter a title and body text, showing what's called the kitchen sink, the various text formatting options, headers, spell checking, adding a title and description, previewing your page, looking at draft versus publishing, editing or deleting pages, and also working with the HTML editor within WordPress. So if you want to create a new page, the first thing we do is we bring up the dashboard, and then we look down here to where we see pages, and as you can see there's pages, and then there's add new. So if we click on add new, basically what this does is this allows us to enter a title, and down here you can put the body text. Now you can just type it straight in. What I tend to do is I tend to write my copy in Word. So if I just bring Word up here, I've already created some copy here. So the title I'm going to use, I just simply select this, press Ctrl C, and we'll go back to where we were. I'll just simply paste that in. As I say, you don't have to do this, you can just type it straight in, but I find it easy if I type stuff in Word and then take it from there. Basically just it's all properly spell checked and grammar checked and everything else. It's just easier. And if I just drag across this slot here and press Ctrl C to copy it to the clipboard, again I can just minimize that and go back to where I was, and here I can just simply paste it in, or you've got this various options down here. You've got paste as plain text and paste from Word. Now you might find that when you look at the buttons here you see this rather than this, and as you can see the way you toggle from one to the other is by pressing this button here or clicking on this button. So if you just simply see this one line of buttons and nothing else, go to this thing here that says show hide what's called the kitchen sink, which is basically more options. You can paste in directly from Word or as plain text. So if I click on paste from Word, which is after all where the text was copied from, I get this pop-up here, and it tells you press Ctrl V, which is a shortcut for pasting. So I'll press Ctrl V, click on insert, and basically there's my text. As I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going straight in and typing it directly in here. It's just if your spelling's as bad as mine, I tend to do things in Word first, make sure everything's perfect, and then pop it in here. There is a rudimentary spelling system within WordPress, but as I say, I just prefer doing it my way. Do it in Word first, then paste it in, but it's up to you. So far we've given this page a little title that will be visible on the page, and we've given it some text, and that's it. Now there's various formatting we can apply here. So for instance, just as you do with say Microsoft Word, let's say you wanted to make this first line bold. You just drag across it to select it, and then just like in Microsoft Word you'd use the button up here to make it bold, or if you wanted it italic, or if you decided you didn't want it italic, you just click on it again. We move over to here. Notice the little pop-up there showing you that the shortcut is Control B, just like in Microsoft Word. So you can click there to remove that, or click there to put it back in. And if we click outside there, as you can see, that's what it's going to look like. Again, just like in Word, let's say you wanted this line here to be displayed in a different color. You could select it, and then if you click on this down arrow here next to this color icon, so click on the down arrow, select the color you want. So I'll go for a bright red, let's call attention to it, and if I click outside, as you can see, just as you do in Microsoft Word, there it is displayed in red and in bold. Again, if you wanted, let's say you wanted this centered, you've got tools up here, so you could center that, or over here you could align to the right, or over here you can align to the left, which is the default, or again centered if you want to. So again, familiar controls there. Let's say you wanted these two lines here to be bulleted. You'd select those two lines, and again, just like in Microsoft Word, you click here, and there you are, you've got a bulleted list. If you want a numbered list, you click here. So as you've seen, basically all the stuff you've been used to with Microsoft Word or other word processors, it all works in exactly the same way. You don't have to worry about the code behind the scenes. So I'll make that a bulleted list rather than a numbered list. And if I click outside there we go. We'll click here and align that back to the left. It generally looks neater. So there you are. You've seen basically how to use quite a few of these buttons already and what they're used for. If you wanted to, you could select those two lines there, and you could use another feature here, which is a bit like an indent feature. It's what's called a block quote. If I click on that, basically that's going to be indented like so. Or if I wanted to, I could press Control Z, which is the undo key. Always remember that Control Z is the undo key. So let's say I wanted that first line there to be indented using this block quote. I'd click here, and there we go. It basically shows you that it's going to be indented. Now over here you've got a preview button. So if you click on this preview button here, this is going to give you an idea of what the customer sees. Remember, if you click back here on the original tab, that's the content management system for WordPress that we're working in. Over here, because we clicked on that preview button, this shows you what the customer is going to see. And as you can see, we've got the title there, which has been pre-formatted in a special way. More about that in a minute. We've got this line here, which remember we made bold and we made display in red, and we also applied a block quote to it. And if you notice the block quote, you've got this little shaded area that comes around it automatically. So if you want to draw attention to a line of text or indeed a block of text, you can apply that block quote to it, and as you see, it gives it a nice shaded, indented appeal. As you can see, the two lines here that we applied bullets to, they've been bulleted, and if you notice, it uses a slightly different bullet from the one in the content management system. The reason for this is that the theme has applied styles to this particular page, and the style in this particular case gives these nice little pointy arrow bullets rather than just the boring round bullets. So as you've seen, that was really easy to do. It's important to realize that at the moment we've created this text here. We clicked on preview to see what it was going to look like, and basically that's what it looks like. But we haven't actually made anything live yet. So preview basically just lets us preview what we've created. What we now need to do is publish, and as you can probably guess by looking at the screen, if we move down to here, you've got this button called publish. Now when I click on this, it might take a few moments. That has now published this to the web. So this new page has now been uploaded and made available to the rest of the world. And if we look here at the what's called the permalink, you'll see that it's on my website, which is in this case photostodvd.com.au, and it automatically took the title here, Why Use Us, as the name of the file. Again, that's actually done by a plugin and which adds this extension HTML. Again, more on that later. But the important thing is, without hardly any sort of detailed knowledge of how to use the system, we've basically created a page from scratch, we've formatted that page, and we published that page. So that page is now live. Just to prove that, if I grab that URL there and do Control C to copy that, and if I just create a new tab here, just to show you the fact it is published to a reel, if I paste in that address there with the address of the new page and press enter, as you can see, that's a real web address, that's a real URL, and it's live, it's there for anyone to see. At the moment this page isn't actually linked to from any of our other pages, but we'll see more about that later. So in the menu systems here, you might want to add a menu system. Again, we'll cover this, how you do this later. Basically, you could have something like in here you could add an item that says, you know, why use us, or call it anything you want, and that would link to this particular page in the same way that these other links here, you know, if I go to FAQs and then go to say terms and conditions, that will link to a page called terms and conditions, which you can see up here is specified up there. Again, it might seem a little bit confusing, but just stay with it. It's a lot easier than it seems, and once you've started playing around with this for a while and just creating a few sample pages and a few sample posts, after a while you won't need to refer to a training manual or video or anything. Basically, you just know how to do it and get on with it. Now, it's important to understand a bit about headers. Automatically, this item up here is assigned what's called a header 1, and this is controlled by the theme. So in this particular case, this title up here is assigned a header 1 level. If we want to, within the document, we can assign various other levels of headers. So for instance, within here, if I wanted to, at the moment that's using a paragraph style. If I click here on where it says header 2, whoops, I have to select it first. If I select that and then apply a header 2, as you can see, that is now a header 2. You can see, because if you click within it, it says it's a header 2. You go someplace else, it's not formatted, and that's just using the paragraph styles, but this is using a header 2 style. And if you go and see how that previews, as you can see, this one here is a header 1, this one here is a header 2, and just to show you, let's close this down, in fact let's go to here, let's format this one here as a header 4, and we'll go and preview that, and there you go, this has been formatted with a header 4. So basically there are two reasons for using or applying header styles. The first is it's very important from an SEO point of view, and the second is it automatically applies consistent styling to your pages, and it just makes them look good. So just to recap, this one was using a header 1 that was applied by the theme automatically. This one here we manually formatted to be a header 2, and this one here we formatted to be a header 4. As you can see, these different appearances were applied once you applied the different styles. Now in this particular case, we've previewed the pages and what have you. If I decided I want to update this page, remember we initially published it, we've looked at the preview, that didn't actually change anything for real, but if I click on where it says update, what this has done is basically updated the page, the public version of the page. So this is now basically what people are going to see on this new page. If I want to, if I click on where it says view page, I can view the page for real. And as you can see, this is basically what the customer is going to see, what your visitors are going to see. Again, that new line, the first line rather, that was automatically formatted using a header 1. This line here was was manually formatted rather, using a header 2, and this last line was formatted using a header 4. And if you remember, we just applied formatting to this, so you could either have number formatting or bullet formatting as you see fit. Now if I click on the back arrow here, we go back to where we were. The other thing you can do is you can look at the code behind the page here. So this is basically what we're typing in, and over here you'll notice that there's two tabs. There's one called visual and there's one called text. If I click on where it says text, this basically is all the HTML code behind the page we just created. You don't have to worry about this too much, but what this is basically saying is that this area here, that text that we typed in, that text basically is we're applying a header 2 to it, which you remember is exactly what we did do. So this basically says the header 2 starts here, and this /h2 means it ends there. If we go down here to this one, where are we? So if we go to this one here, this basically is saying for the text that says please contact us if you have any questions, the piece of code there basically says start a header 4 and end the header 4 here. And this piece of code here, the OL, if you're really interested, is short for ordered a list. That's basically saying here's the first list item, start it here, end it there, next one starts here, ends there. And if we go back and see the visual effect of that, that's basically saying give this number 1 and number 2. To go from looking at the code back to the visual, you just click here. So basically you can toggle from one to the other, as you can see. So that's basically the format that you generally use. You generally just type information in. But as I say, if you want to look at the code here, sometimes you might want to do more advanced work where you can actually modify the code directly. There's nothing to stop you going in there if you have good HTML skills and directly entering things. So for instance, this item here, which we marked as a header 4, which currently looks like this, yeah. If we go back here, we can say I actually change that to, say, a header 5. So we just put the 5 in there, put the 5 in here, go back here to the visual, and as you see, this is now using a header 5, which has a slightly different appearance. So that's basically how you put text in. If I just simply update this, and then I go back to the dashboard, let's say I've created my page, and maybe it could be a day later I want to make some changes. I can go back to where it says pages, look at all pages. And remember, the page was called, I think it was called Why Use Us, so it's down here, Why Use Us. If I want to edit those changes, I can just click on Edit, or indeed just click on here, same difference. And that will bring up my page again. So let's say we just want to insert a word. We have many years of experience, and let's say we decide we want to format that with a different color. You can click on the down arrow here, go for a different color, and so on and so forth, and click on Update, and that's basically how you edit a page. So if you've got pages and you want to make slight changes, maybe you've got a prices page and you need to edit the prices, that's basically how you do it. You just if you just repeat that process, you go to the, you normally start off in the dashboard here, you then go to pages, you'd view all your pages by clicking on here if it's not already displayed, scroll down to find the one you want, click on the one that you want to edit, in this case Why Use Us, up it comes and make your changes. It's as simple as that. Now in some cases, rather than just editing a page, you might want to actually delete a page. So again, if we go back to the dashboard here, which is what you normally start off with, and then go down to where it says pages, if we scroll down here, I'm not actually going to click on anything, I'm just moving the mouse over here. You'll notice we've got Edit, Quick Edit, Trash and View. If I click on Trash here, there you are, that page has been deleted. Incidentally, if you made a mistake, notice that it's a bit like the recycle bin in the word desktop. If you click on this item up here, this basically says you've got this item in the trash bin, if you like. If you want, you can restore it, or if you're absolutely sure you're never going to want it again, you can delete it permanently. If in doubt, leave it there for a while, because you can always click on restore and bring it back. Deleting it permanently means that's it, it's gone. So if we now go and look at all pages, you'll find it's come back again. So as I say, it does mean that if you accidentally delete a page or need a post, you can bring them back, which is reassuring in some ways.